Tez Jet is one of the world's last MD-80 operator, and today I will find out if some nostalgic feelings will come up in me as I am about to take a flight to Osh in Kyrgyzstan. Welcome to Bishkek International Airport, the airport serving the capital of Kyrgyzstan. I am on my way to the check-in counter to get my boarding pass, as online check-in was not possible. Also, I wanted to check if my ride today is indeed the MD-80, as there's roughly a 50-50 chance to get one of their Avro RJ-85 aircraft instead. Luckily, the check-in agent confirmed it's an MD-80, but seeing is believing. I haven't seen the MD-80 on Flight Radar 24 for weeks, which was a bit worrying. I'm airside now, and look what I see over there. My mood increased dramatically, and I decided to have a coffee to celebrate. There's not too much traffic outside at the moment, besides this Centrum Air Airbus A320. Check out my video about it. It's boarding time, and I'm excited to fly an MD-80 again. A little side note, MD stands for McDonnell Douglas, which later was taken over by Boeing, but sometimes MD also means Mad Dog, due to the handling and performance of the MD-80, as some pilots would point out. And here it is, my Mad Dog for today. And this one in particular is somewhat special, which I will show you in a moment. First, I must enjoy the moment before boarding. That's what I wanted to show you. It seems this aircraft was the world's last ever produced of its kind, 26 years ago at the time of this flight. I was welcomed aboard with a big smile, and I got a first glance of the typical MD-80 economy class layout, which comes in a 3-2 seat arrangement. I on purpose paid for a seat in the third last row, making sure I get a view to the wing but also to the rear mounted engine. Also typical for the MD-80 is a small galley and emergency exit on one side of the cabin towards the rear. And here it is, my seat for today, 31A. But the row 31 is still too far in the rear, and the engine inlet is blocking about 2/3 of my window. Note for myself, book seat 30F or 29F next time, because that's how the view looks from there, much better. However, the legroom is not overly generous, and for my size of 6'4" or 1m93, it's not comfortable anymore. The cabin looks pretty empty, maybe I can change my seat. Unfortunately, another busload of passengers is still coming. Back here, between the lavatories, I find the MD-80 typical rear cabin door. That's the exit I will use in about 70 minutes, but I didn't know that yet at this point. Welcome aboard the Tez Jet MD-80. The footroom at my seat is extremely limited because of the galley in front of me, but at least I got a bit more knee space. So far there are still plenty of empty seats, and I'm hopeful I can move 1 or 2 rows forward on the other side. Here I have the MD-80's safety card. It also indicates the more specific designation MD-83, which is an upgraded version of the MD-81 or MD-82. Oh, here comes the next batch of passengers, this time from the rear. Overhead I find these pretty vintage looking light and call buttons and individual air fans. Yeah, this bulkhead is a bit of a pain when it comes to foot space. I regret paying extra for it, but you travel and learn. My last MD-80 flight was too long ago. Funnily, from where I sit I can only hear the safety demonstration, but I cannot see anything. We are rolling and on our way to Osh on this beautiful classic aircraft. What an exciting afternoon. What a long takeoff run that was. And did you see the airstream or vortex? My seat neighbor, a very friendly Kyrgyz gentleman, had this pretty interesting application to monitor our speed and distance traveled. Also interesting, I find that TezJet wings are painted in green. My seat has this recliner knob and I briefly can check if it works, since there's nobody behind me. I have no seat and fold-down table in front of me. I find it in my right armrest instead. Looking as far back as possible, I even managed to spot the horizontal stabilizer, not a part of the aircraft you usually see from inside the cabin. Otherwise, this is my limited view, unfortunately. Green wings are taking us over the mountain range that separates Bishkek in the north from Osh in the south. Wow, the peaks of these mountains look so close. By the way, do you know of any other airlines that paint their aircraft wings? I just noticed the rear exit is also an emergency exit that pops away the rear cone. It got a bit bumpy, so we better buckle up. Having flown around Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan and now Kyrgyzstan, I must admit, I quite like the landscape of Central Asia. I wonder if this is Osh already. Anyway, I will find out shortly as we have started circling down towards the airport. You may have noticed that there was zero in-flight service and also no option to buy something on board. And during the flight I haven't seen any cabin attendant walking by at all. Welcome to Osh, home of lots of super interesting Soviet relics. By the way, if you like to see my videos of my flights aboard the Aviation IL-76 and Antonov 12, subscribe to my channel not to miss them. It's finally time to move my legs again, so I can go to the chiropractic. And as hinted earlier, this time I exited the aircraft through the rear door, which gave me this pretty nice perspective of the aircraft. My seat neighbor offered me a ride into the center of Osh, which of course was a very nice gesture. In the meanwhile, thanks for watching, till next time, bye for now.